Hello and welcome to another Green Thumb program. My name is John Schaefer and I'm with the Harris County Public Library. We produce the Green Thumb show in conjunction with the Harris County Master Gardeners, but our show is for everyone in the Southeast Texas region, especially places like Brazoria County, where I would like to give a special welcome to Brazoria County Public Library for making this program available to their patrons as well. Thank you. We're so glad to have you guys here. So we are here online the third Tuesday of every month at 11 a.m. Today's topic is unpaving a parking lot, the history of the Genoa Friendship Gardens. Very interesting. We'll be diving into the history and development of these gardens and taking a tour from the Rose Garden to the Butterfly Garden and everything in between, including information on composting and their plant sales and educational opportunities. But before I introduce our presenter, a couple of quick things. I want to let you know that we love questions. So please type your questions into the chat on Facebook or YouTube, wherever you're watching this. We have master gardeners monitoring the chat, so we will get to answer your questions. And second, our next show, already looking ahead, is going to be on Tuesday, February 18th, and that will be spring vegetable gardening. Now, I am very excited, very excited to introduce our presenter. He is a retired physician's assistant who worked at MD Anderson Cancer Center for 20 years, managing pain for those being treated for cancer. During retirement and throughout the pandemic, he found healing gardening with plants native to the Texas Gulf Coast ecosystem. And since 2021, he has volunteered with Harris County Master Gardeners, developing a native plant landscaping bed at their Genoa Friendship Gardens Demonstration Garden, which we will be hearing about. He has advanced training in composting and entomology, and as a member of the Native Plant Society of Texas, he has obtained their native plant landscaping certification. He enjoys speaking regularly on native plants, composting, and other gardening topics of interest to the citizens of Harris County, as well as teaching the Master Gardener interns and writing articles in Urban Dirt and Harris County Master Gardeners newsletter. When not gardening, he enjoys spending time with his wife, roasting coffee, and riding his motorcycle. So please help me welcome Advanced Master Gardener, Mr. Robin Kendrick Yates. Hello, Robin. How are you?
Hey, John. Great. Thank you for inviting us here today.
Oh, man, it is so good to have you here. And it is kind of a unique day for us as I'm looking out my window. And as you can tell by the sweater, it is freezing outside, and there is a blanket of this white stuff I'm not familiar with here in the Harris County area. Are you familiar with this phenomenon?
White stuff? What? Oh no, what is that?
We actually have snow on the ground, so it's a once in a very rare occurrence that it happens. But that's a perfect day to learn all about the history of Friendship Gardens, which I'm very excited about. Tell you what, I know you got a lot to share, so I'm going to go ahead and get this up here, and I'm going to get out of your hair. We will be taking questions once again, so please, if you have a question, type it into the comment section for Robin, and we'll definitely get that to you and get an answer to you. So without further ado, Robin, please take it away.
Thank you, John. Hi, I'm Robin, and welcome to our first Green Thumb lecture of 2025. Today's presentation will review the history of our demonstration garden in Southeast Houston. I hope you will enjoy this journey with me. Please put your questions in the chat. We will pause during the presentation and at the end to answer them. My colleagues, thank you, Joanne and Valerie, for being here. We'll be answering them in the chat as we go. It is fitting that it is snowing outside. My last Green Thumb lecture in October of last year was on gardening with extreme weather, so how appropriate today. So this is what we've got upcoming for the 2025 Green Thumb series presentations. All are online and free of charge. We have a number of exciting gardening topics upcoming, so save the dates. Next month's talk is spring vegetable gardening. We are a volunteer group, and our upcoming plant sales are our main fundraisers. So we have the Northwest location this week is actually happening. So please take part of that. We'll be sharing the links to how to get to those online. Before we start, I'd like to acknowledge the indigenous people who inhabited this land that we call Southeast Texas for thousands of years sustainably. The Ekokisa, Karankawa, and others were displaced. Many lost their lives, their land, their cultures. I would like to honor them by opening the discussion on facing wrongs done in the past and moving toward healing and restoration in the here and now. We will begin today with a bit of background on how the concept of Master Gardeners got its start. Then we will delve into how the Genoa Friendship Gardens came to be. Lastly, we will take a virtual tour overview of the Friendship Gardens through the years. This is in no way meant to be an exhaustive presentation. Rather, it's just a snapshot of all the activities and the many people that have been involved with this demonstration garden for over 25 years now. No one is intentionally excluded. I made every effort to locate as much information and as many photographs as you'll see as was possible. If someone important to you was left out, please let me know, and I will add them to this presentation. All of the photographs were taken either by myself or another Master Gardener, and a special thank you to Krista Kaiser, our official historian and photographer. In the early 1970s, okay, we're going back over 50 years, the Washington State University Extension Office was inundated with horticulture questions from the community, so much so that the agents found themselves unable to perform their roles by developing and holding educational training programs. They looked at possible solutions and they developed a program of advanced trained volunteers, who they called Master Gardeners, taken from the German term Gartenmeister. Initially, 300 people enlisted, and we think about 200 were actually certified. Other states then followed, and Texas' first class was in 1979 in Montgomery County. And in 1986, Harris County had our first class of Master Gardener volunteers. And you can see the data here that it's a very valuable resource to the state of Texas, to our community. Next, we will look at the beginnings of the Genoa Friendship Gardens. How did everything get started? This is your invitation to come and visit us on Monday and Wednesday mornings. You'll have to look closely when you come to 1210 Genoa Red Bluff. There's a little bitty sign here and another one over on there it's not as visible as we would like. But from 9 to 11 on Monday and Wednesday mornings, you're invited to come. In March through October, we have Open Garden Day on the third Monday of the month with Ask a Master Gardener set up, tours, and greenhouse plant sales. And to show you where we are, here on the southeast side, right inside the Beltway, Genoa Friendship Gardens. That's where we're located, and this is your invitation to come and join us. In 1998, Harris County Master Gardener Larry Newby suggested to Precinct 2 Commissioner Jim Fontenot the need for a location for Master Gardeners to serve the citizens of Harris County that are unable to access the Extension Office and Gardens in West Houston. Office space was provided for Wednesday question and answer and a phone line at the Genoa Red Bluff Road and Bridge Camp, 1202 Genoa Red Bluff. Unfortunately, Newby passed away before he could man the phone line. It was then that Donna Faye Hilliard took up the task and requested a community garden to be built in Precinct 2. Thus, the ground was broken for the Genoa Friendship Garden, April 21, 1999. And the official ribbon cutting ceremony was held June 11th of that year. Master Gardeners, local residents, both school children and seniors, Precinct 2 road camp employees, and even Harris County inmates worked building the initial garden beds. I believe this joint effort is how the Friendship Gardens got their name. The camp superintendent, James Clark, and his crew cleared the area and set the bed forms the day before the groundbreaking. It was then that materials were laid down that give the appearance of a parking lot underneath what we see today. And we have found anytime you dig down into the ground at GFG, you're likely to run into gravel, bricks, concrete pieces. Thus, the title for this presentation, Unpaving a Parking Lot. Here is the official ribbon cutting ceremony for the Genoa Friendship Gardens. This picture is taken from the road that is on the south side of the gardens. And here are some early photographs. You can tell these are old photographs of the initial construction, April and May of 1999. And this is a Google Earth overview. It's the first one I could find that shows the clearing. This was cleared out, and this is the area. You see there are no buildings on this area at this time. The business and the phone calls were managed in the buildings over here for the Harris County road maintenance crew. I found this initial layout of the gardens. It's interesting to note that the trees, many of them are still standing. Also notice that the entrance over here is on the west side of the entrance and not on the north where we're used to. And we'll see that in a bit here. The blue arrow shows the road where the ribbon cutting ceremony was. And on the right, you can see there's some ground rules for use in the office. Sadly, as I mentioned, the master gardener who had the initial idea of GFG, Larry Newby, passed away before his dream was materialized. Donna Faye Hilliard, Harris County Master Gardener, took the lead, and she was a driving force in the formation, development, and administration of the Genoa Friendship Gardens. You can see her here manually digging the irrigation system. She won awards for her volunteer activities. And here on the top, you can see Donna Faye teaching, and then also Georgia Lowe, you'll see her later as well, instructing. And here we have Donna Faye again in another picture, and then Kara Branham, who has been our membership director for many years, and she is just retiring. As I mentioned, there were no structures initially. One of our master gardeners, Louis Mickler, donated a building in 2009, and that building is still in use today. Also, this is the entrance that we are familiar with now. In 2009, 2010, the northern lot was cleared, a parking lot put in, and a new entrance via the north side of the gardens, including a walkway bridge. You can see them constructing here and built there on the right. This is the entrance that we use to this very day. And here's the pathway under construction. In 2016, the education building was secured and placed in the front parking lot. This has been the center for many educational and training classes, as well as committee meetings. This enables Harris County Master Gardeners to be more accessible to the citizens of Southeast Harris County. And we're going to pause for a moment. Are there any questions, John?
Yeah, you know what I thought was first, how many people are involved in this, like in the Genoa Frontier? I mean, it seems like that's a colossal effort. I mean, what would you say is the average number of people working on it?
So participation on Mondays is the most master gardeners, and typically there will be 10 to 20 master gardeners there at any one time. There could be fewer, but typically we have a good number on Mondays, fewer on Wednesdays, and then we have other activities where we'll have people come, but I would say around a dozen or more.
And now, I mean, seems like kind of a very unique thing. Is there other master gardeners? Is this pretty unique to the Harris County Master Gardeners, or are there other that you know of? I mean, are we lucky to have that? How lucky are we to have this alone?
We are lucky to have this. We really are. The history of Harris County is Bear Creek Park used to be where the extension office and our gardens were for many years. And unfortunately, it was flooded out twice with Ike and then again with Harvey. And we had to move. And so the fact that we have Genoa Friendship and we've had that for over 25 years has been a real boon to us as a chapter and for this location.
Wow. Well, I can't wait to hear more about it. I think a tour is coming up, so I'm going to let you get going back on it. All right. We'll talk again at the end of the program.
Great. Thank you. So next we will venture out into the Friendship Gardens, and we'll be touring in the order that our information brochures historically placed the different areas. This is the entrance, and there's a sign that it's rather dark, but our Our good friend, Master Gardener Noe Tristan, constructed this from scrap materials. He's a welder. And so this is what you'll see when you walk into that. And this is my friend Noe right here. He helped with the irrigation for a bed I'll be showing you in a bit. And so the first beds that were built, you saw some of them in the initial pictures, were the vegetable trial beds. They have served a twofold purpose through the years. First, the vegetables are grown, studied, and data gathered and given to Extension. Extension can then give recommendations to growers in the area, and master gardeners can give recommendations to the public. The second purpose has been to donate the produce to local food banks and shelters. Interfaith Ministries and Angela House, as well as local food pantries, have been the recipients of the donations. And here are some pictures through the years of the vegetable beds and master gardeners in those beds. And one master gardener that was brought to my attention by Diane Lawrence, one of our members, is Guy Lazarus. He was the heart of the garden for many years. He was a farmer and had a wealth of modern and old practices for growing vegetables, still depending on the farmer's almanac for when to plant. He loved sweet potatoes and planted so many that we had several hundred pounds in a harvest. In the summers, he brought watermelon that you can see here to help folks cool down in July and August. In fact, when I arrived in 2021, we had a harvest of sweet potatoes, and the species name was called Guys, that he had actually planted, and then we harvested them in 2021. And here are some other pictures of the beds. You can see there were many beds initially, and it has changed through the years. Today, our vegetable beds are led by Doug McLeod on your left and Pam Longley on the right, aided by a group of up-and-coming Master Gardener interns. Those are folks who have recently taken our 10-week training course and are working toward certification. Next to the vegetable beds, you'll see the floral trial, which is very similar to the vegetable in that Extension will give us seeds or plants and then see how they do here in the area, and then we give that data to Extension. And here we see Catherine McLeod and Yvonne, one of our fall 2024 interns, weeding the bed of bluebonnets. The herb garden, and each garden I've depicted here with the arrows tells you where in the garden it is. The herb garden is a demonstration garden featuring herbs that do well in our Gulf Coast climate. The beginnings of the herb garden on your left showing it being formed, and then on the right you can see a demonstration of what we've done in the past. They have demonstrations on herbs and how to use them. Today the herb garden is led by Michael Brazil. This is a picture of Michael in the garden. He says that the herb garden consists of a variety of herbs and other types of plants that strive to be whimsical and inviting. While a focus on native plants and true herbs is preference, the primary goal for the project is to inspire joy, wonder, and a desire to create one's own garden of beauty, intricacy, and diversity. You'll see Michael again in a few minutes. Next, we have the orchard and fruit garden. This is also a trial and donation garden that has been a variety of fruit trees as well as grapes, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries through the years. Fruit from the garden is donated to the same food banks as the vegetables. Visitors to the garden could see the great variety of plant material that can be grown in the area, as well as how to best manage them. The orchard is undergoing revitalization as it has not had consistent oversight for some time, and the extreme weather events have caused the demise of many of the fruit trees. Here's some pictures of the orchard and the fruit garden through the years. Next, we have our perennial garden. The perennial garden was initially a low-maintenance garden. No sprays were used and very little fertilizer is added. Initially, the garden was planted with donated perennials. However, it evolved into a teaching demonstration garden as perennials from our plant sales were added and information signs installed. Beth Fromm on the upper right-hand side It, on the top, helped to build and maintain the perennial bed for many years. She is a past president of Harris County Master Gardeners. She retired from Master Gardeners at the same time I came in 2021. Below on the right, we see Georgia Lowe, another one who was the heart of GFG for many years as a garden lead, coordinator, and director. And in fact, we lost Georgia in 2022. We planted a native black cherry tree in her honor in January of 2023. Her husband donated a bench in her honor, and it was dedicated later that spring with many past Master Gardeners and friends in attendance. This shows you a recent photograph of the perennial bed. My classmate, Mary Hawkins, on the right here, has been maintaining the perennial bed since she was an intern. Next, we have the rose garden. It's planted with a wide variety of antique or garden roses that do well in Gulf Coast area gardens with little care. On the bottom right photo, you see Krista Kaiser. I mentioned her as our photographer and historian. She's the lead for the rose garden, has been for many years. She is also responsible for these photos. We are sad to learn that due to health concerns, Krista is retiring from Harris County Master Gardener this year. We can see that the public has been involved since the beginning, and the community helped to build the rose arbor that we have here. And you can see the roses climbing up this arbor to this day. So thank you to the Taylor family. And then here's a recent snapshot of the garden, and Evelyn Dravis, Harris County Master Gardener, class of 2023. A little bashful, didn't want to smile to the camera, but she didn't mind us taking her picture. See her tending to the beds there. Next, we have the entry garden, and this is at the you can see the little bridge here. This is where we enter the garden. It was added to the garden to beautify the entry and provide a place for workers and visitors to stop and enjoy the garden. The planting here consists of many perennials, some of which are native plants. And here's a recent photograph. This was just before the recent storm, so things have gone dormant, but it looks really beautiful throughout the year. It's something to behold. And Sandra Stevens is in charge of that. Then we have the butterfly garden. It's located to the southeast of the rose garden. These plants supply a habitat and food source for the entire life cycle of these insects. In 2012, an extension was added to the butterfly garden to encompass a monarch way station. So it's officially certified as criteria supporting the monarch butterfly conservation. It provides milkweed, nectar sources, and shelter needed to sustain monarchs as they migrate through North America. Linda Pearson, Harris County Master Gardener and Treasurer for GFG, is the lead for the butterfly garden. She and her husband, Greg, propagate native milkweed for the Native Plant Society as well as for our plant sales. And these are recent photographs of the butterfly garden. The water garden calms the human soul and provides water for wildlife. It contains beautiful water lilies and a variety of other aquatic plants and fish that live in this environment. And then we have a few photographs of that through the years. This is a recent snapshot of it. One of our recent interns, Martin, revitalized this and cleared a lot of debris, and now it looks very nice. Next, we have the tropical garden. It's easily recognized because of the whimsical giraffes that dominate the garden. This area started out as a ginger garden, but it was expanded to include a large variety of tropical plants. You can see the giraffes, and then the garden is over here on the left. Dolores Whiteside and Stephanie Gray, fall 2024 Harris County Master Gardener interns, are renovating the tropical garden as we speak. Then we have the sensory garden. It consists of 3 round raised metal rings and 3 oblong metal rings that demonstrate the ease of gardening at a more comfortable level. The round rings are planted with a combination of plants that appeal to the senses. These include colorful flowers that give us pleasure, herbs that awaken our senses of taste and smell, and plants with soft, fuzzy leaves and fur-like flowers that tempt us to touch and feel their softness. Pat Daniels has been the lead for the sensory garden for many years, and you can see the beds here. Next, we have the desert garden. It contains various prickly cacti and agaves with thick, fleshy leaves. This is the beginnings of that. You can see that they started this bed and they were digging down into the parking lot. That's why I call this unpaving a parking lot. And then you can see the construction of the bed. And today, Gene Dunn, Harris County Master Gardener 2023, has taken the lead for this area. The cactus and succulent bed has been in a revitalization process since then. The bed has been renamed Xeriscape Bed. And there are several purposes for this. First, to provide inspiration and information for any homeowner interested in low water gardening, and to maintain records of xeriscape plants used and how well they fare with little water and poor soils. And Gene says that this is a first cousin to the native bed. Which brings us to the native plant, prairie plant and wildflower garden. This was added in 2009. It includes hardy, colorful wildflowers and tough native grasses that thrive with minimal care. You can see it's tucked over back there in the corner initially, but when I started, this was when it was laid out in 2009. When I came in 2021, we started initially putting the bed here, but this beautiful bald cypress tree's roots overtaken this bed. And so we looked for another location for it, and we ended up coming to the idea of right next to the entry bed for the new location. And so we went to a little grassy knoll. This is a picture of the area. The entry bed is off just to the left. And then I built this bed, and I wrote an article in our Urban Dirt newsletter, which is a great resource. Y'all can check that out on our Harris County Master Gardener website. I wrote an article recently on how to build a native plant bed. And then doing that, and Noe, again, helped with the irrigation for that. And so that was in 2022, that first spring of it being planted. And over the years, it has grown. You can see bluebonnets, pink evening primrose, rattlesnake master. I'll be happy to show you any of these plants. And we also began education in 2023 again. There was a lapse due to the pandemic, but then we started having education again there in the building, and then also bringing the public out into the garden, which is a lot of fun. And this is a more recent photo. You can see that a little walkway has been put along the side, and you'll notice this is not turf grass. This is frog fruit, Phyllonatiflora, and I'll be happy to bore you to tears over talking about those native plants. But this is me recently, and I've been putting another edging. So it's constantly under being renovated and added to. So it's different every year. And also we have greenhouses, 2 of them. Initially, one was placed in 1999. We call that the old greenhouse. And then the newer one was constructed in 2008. Our greenhouses are used to produce tomatoes, peppers, and other vegetable plants to sell at our plant sales and for use in the vegetable garden. It also contains plants from our gardens that are for sale during our open garden days and throughout the year. And so next we have a few pictures. This is the old greenhouse and propagating plants in that. And then we have the construction of the new greenhouse, 2007. You can see the pictures of it coming up. And then the dedication in the spring of January of 2008. And then propagating plants in the new greenhouse. Notice those tables on the left, they're metal. Over time, everything needs maintenance. On the left, you can see the new clear siding. This has been replaced recently. And on the right, you remember Mike from our the herb garden, he is a true handyman. And so he constructed these all new tables, replaced all of the tables in the greenhouse for us recently. Thank you, Michael. And then here's our greenhouse crew. I want to introduce you to these folks. This is Maggie Mentakis, class of 2023, greenhouse manager and board of directors. Next to her, going to the right, is Pam Longley, vegetable garden co-lead and urban dirt contributing author, photographer. Then you have Jean Dunn. You met her with the xeriscaping bed, lead for that bed, and the plant sale lead. Then Janice Mum is next to her, longtime greenhouse manager and plant sale lead. And next to her is Carolyn Boyd, past president of Harris County Master Gardeners, board of directors, and longtime GFG manager. And lastly, you met Catherine on one of the trial beds. She's a plant sale manager and trial bed lead. So that's a great crew there. It was hard to get them to stand still for a photograph. The last area I would like to introduce you to is one of my favorite, the composting demonstration. Here we show how simple and easy home composting can be. This is when I came in 2023. I took an advanced training, and this was the composting area. It's in disarray, had been neglected for years. And so we've been working on it, revitalizing it. And this is after me gathering many leaves over the last few months and putting them together and then adding composting. So I'll show folks when they come how they can compost many of their resources, and I'll be happy to talk to you about that. I would be amiss if I did not mention our plant sales. These are our main fundraisers for all our activities. In fact, we have our fruit tree sales coming up on the west side this very week at Harris County Community College Katy campus on the 25th. You can buy online ahead of time, and then next month at GFG. Also, education has always been a priority at GFG. Many classes of interns have received at least part of their training in the education building, as well as hands-on gardening experience in the various gardens that you've seen. This summer and fall, we hosted our most recent classes here. And then GFG has recently become an educational center for students from the local school areas involved with the United Way's Out to Learn network. And that's been happening due to Robin Adair's and Carrie Calloway's from the Extension Office resources, putting things together for us. You can see the children working on the beds. And then also there have been a number of awards through the years. Here, Krista Kaiser and Bev DeMoss won an award at the 2012 Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo for a miniscape that they developed. And this is another award that Harris County Master Gardeners have won, just to show you a few things that have happened through the years. And then I want you to see there is much to be done. There's always room for more friends. Consider joining us in our next training class. So there you have it. Come and join us while we continue to unpave this parking lot. There is room for you at Harris County Master Gardeners. Come and join our next training class. Do we have any questions?
Yes, we have a bunch of questions. I am trying to get all this. There's so much great information in the comment section about the plant sales and everything going on. I want to make sure we get that all in the comment section. Okay, let me get us a little space. Oh, I got that picture right there. First off, I had no idea there were so many different types of gardens. That is insane how many different examples of just the work that you guys did. Okay, some of the questions we got from Facebook. Do you still take donations like perennials? I know you mentioned your perennials garden that they started with some donations. What if somebody's got a plant, they don't think it's going to make it? Can they bring it in? Is that something you're kind of like, we've got enough at this point?
That's a good question. We will not turn anyone away who has a question. And if they have a plant in question, one thing that they can do from their home is to take some really good photographs of that and then go to Ask a Master Gardener, and they can submit that question online and they'll get an expert answer to that question. So that is one thing you can do. But yes, folks could bring things and we could try to answer questions about the plant. But once you move the plant, you interrupted it. There's things that will happen, but we're happy to. We just love to talk gardening. So yeah, absolutely.
that I believe.
Yeah.
I loved you mentioning you would talk people's ears off on native plants, and I don't think that's possible. I think it's very interesting. Okay, it seems like there's so much stuff going on. You were talking about volunteers. Do you have it? It seems like it's always evolving too. Do you have any idea of some of the things coming up? Like I know we mentioned the plant sale, but as far as like the gardens itself, like changes or anything, anything you want to let us in on?
Yes, good question. One of the things that we are working on is developing more ADA accessibility. We would like to build a pathway, and so that's something that we need support from the community. We're looking for funds to help build a pathway connecting for the public, an ADA accessible. That's a goal that we have, and I'm going to be presenting to the steering committee as we meet later this month. So that is something, and we're renovating.
Great way to get involved too, I would think.
Yes.
Real quick, I just want everybody to know, our audience to know, I've just put a survey link in the comments section. It would mean a lot if you could cut and paste the link into your browser, and we would love to hear your thoughts on that. Please help us out with that. Other questions we had come in. But the butterfly garden, first off, when is the best time to see the butterfly garden? Because I think that's got to be one of your top. That and the roses, I'm guessing, would be my favorites. And how do you become a certified way station for butterflies? Did I hear you correctly that you are a certified way station for butterflies?
Well, if you Google Monarch Way Station certification, you'll see the criteria, because there's an organization that will certify you. If you have the habitat, you get the food, the milkweed, native milkweed, by the way, and the nectar sources, then your area, your yard can be certified as a Monarch Way Station. Absolutely. I love it when folks do that.
Nice. The sensory garden, talk about like, people coming to visit more. I know you mentioned a little bit, but like, coming to visit, like if you want to come hang out in this, tell me about like, how does that work? What's the, procedure on that, or, how do people get to enjoy this more so?
So it's open Monday and Wednesdays, 9 to 11. Monday is the best day to find the most master gardeners there. Okay. But then also folks can schedule tours. And I have taken just families, just individuals to a tour, and you can schedule a tour through our volunteer coordinator. And we're happy to do that. We love to bring tours from schools, from different facilities, to have folks come by, veterans, folks from Angela House, one of the places we donate vegetables to. And so we love it. From March through October, the third Monday of each month, we have open garden day. And so we have everybody, all hands on deck, and we have information table, and we have a lot of things set up for folks, especially on those days. So that's a great day to come. But when to visit the butterfly garden, Linda does such a really good job with this that she's got something that's blooming pretty much 12 months a year. So really? anytime you want to come is a good time.
Wow. And of course, a great time to come would be for one of your plant sales, which is
absolutely.
Let's talk about that, because I think after today's weather, I think I might have a few spots in my yard that after the snow clears, I'm afraid that a few of my well, anyway, let's just look to the future. What can we get at the plant sale coming up, and when is it? How do we get there?
Lucky for you, the folks just unloaded the fruit trees at the Harris County Community College, Houston Community College, Katy campus last Friday. And so this Saturday, the 25th, they'll be selling those fruit trees and the different plants that they have available. You can buy online right now. Okay. And then pick it up on Saturday, the 25th. And then next month, starting February 3rd through, I think, the 12th, you can buy online for GFG's fruit tree sale. Okay. And then pick them up on Saturday, the 15th. And so those sales are coming up, and those are sale days are great to come by. One thing that we're working on, and one thing I'm happy to, is to take people on tours through when they come for the plant sale at GFG. That's been a passion of mine. So if folks come and they want to to get a tour and I'm there, I'll be happy to give them. Otherwise, the open garden days, the third Monday of each month, is the optimal time to come.
Well, I mean, I've had the pleasure of speaking with obviously numerous master gardeners over the course of this program, and everybody is always so friendly. It seems like it's really that was kind of my last note here. I want to talk about, it just seems like and especially when you're talking about, losing one of your master gardeners, the dedication to the black cherry tree. It seems like it really is a family, and what a great, what a great group to get involved with. If you have any love of plants, or you enjoy them, or you just want to learn more, it seems like you guys are a very welcoming bunch
Absolutely.
of people, and I really want people to enjoy this as much as you guys do, which I think is a real treat. And of course, this is the Genoa Friendship Gardens, a great place to start that. So with that, I will say, please, 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 if you have any questions about the Master Gardeners, I posted some links in the comment section. They can find out about the Harris County Master Gardeners at any time by just visiting your website, Harris County Master Gardeners. But also, we will be coming back again and having another presentation next month on Tuesday, February 18th. We'll be talking about spring vegetable gardening, which we're excited about. And Raman, I can't thank you enough for giving your time and putting this presentation together. Clearly, it took you a lot of time, and there's a lot of stuff there. So we really appreciate you taking your time to spend that with us. So.
It's a lot of fun. Thank you, John. I wanted to mention one other thing. I had on our website, Harris County Master Gardeners, if you go to volunteering, there's a site that goes to Genoa Friendship Garden. We have our own page, and on that page, I have a number of resources for the public. Some of it is for home composting, instructions on how to home compost. Another gives native plants and their pollinator larval host insect.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much there. I mean, I know we've had programs on just pollinators. We've had programs on just native plants. We've had programs on just composting. So I love that we got the chance to kind of cover a lot of that right now and really get into it. And there's so much more in the upcoming year. So please keep coming back and join us. Also, I want to say a special thank you again to Brazoria County Public Library for joining us. And if your library system is interested in streaming this as well, please contact us at Harris County Public Library, and we'd be happy to let you guys stream this as well. With that, let's bring it to an end. And I want to say, let's go on. I'm going to go make snow angels. The last chance I'll ever probably have in Houston.
Enjoy indeed. Yes.
Robin, thank you so much for your time, and we wish everybody a very warm rest of your day.
Thank you all for coming.